first Sunday of Sundance 2024. I'm your host, Kimberly Pro. Welcome to this January 21st edition of Wasatch Weekends. On today's show, I have two conversations with excellent composers about their films here at the Sundance Film Festival. It's going to be a good one, but before we get into that, let's take a look at today's weather. Sundance Film Festival is filled with so many interesting pieces, including feature films, short films, and musical composition. Joining me today to talk about his latest project is the composer Uno Helmerson. Uno, how are you this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful.
A bit jet lagged though.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. Where did you fly in from?
It's been a fantastic premiere yesterday, so yeah.
Great, great. So tell me.
I came from Sweden, so I just arrived. I'm sorry, go on.
No, go right ahead.
Yeah.
How is Park City for you compared to Sweden?
It's like home. I don't know, it's snow and it's mountains and, so I'm really happy to be here. I've never been here before. I mean, I had a couple of films premiering here in competition and winning. So it's the first time here and I'm really happy to be here. It's a fantastic town. It's just a fantastic place and such great people here. So yeah. Great time, and we had a great premiere yesterday. It was really emotional and intense and beautiful, and so yeah.
So Uno,
yes.
Tell us about the film. You had the premiere last night. Tell me all about the premise of the film and then how you envisioned the musical score for this film.
Well, this is a story about this young man, Mats Sten, who dies in the age of 24, and the story goes that he grows up with this horrible degenerative disease, Duchenne, which makes him, he can't walk, and he spends his last years in his house just playing video games, and eventually he passes away, and his parents, whom really great persons and fantastic, and they find out that he actually has some, he's been playing World of Warcraft and he probably have some friends, so they write that in his blog, because he had a blog, and they write that he has passed away and that they can get in touch with him, and then to get in touch with his father, and then they just start to get mails from throughout all Europe, and being a parent of a child that hasn't, had this, being able to be a part of a community, make friends, go out, girlfriends, etc. They were, it is really intense. And so what happens then is that people from throughout Europe just sends emails and says Mats was a fantastic person, and it shows up that he has had this fantastic life in World of Warcraft. So Benjamin Reh, the director, he then makes his film so it changes, and we get to relive his life in World of Warcraft and to meet his friends. He actually had a girlfriend. He was accused to be a womanizer in the game, and he helped people he helped this autistic boy to get a better relationship with his mother, to get rid of his social phobia. And so there's a lot of things going on. He was a really beautiful person, and so we get to know him as, who he was in his life, his real life, which is a really emotional journey. And the score is, reflecting that truly. And it's an orchestral score, and it's really emotional, I would say. And I think it really reflects the emotional impact of the film, and it kind of illustrates also the world of Mats, which is I mean, in as an avatar, you know.
Absolutely. Now, what drew you to this
So
project?
yeah, I think I'm really proud of the score. I'm really happy to how
Wonderful.
I mean, Benjamin Ree, I've been working with him on his last three films. We first started to work on Magnus, the documentary about this chess master, this young boy who became the chess master in the world. And then we did The Painter and the Thief. We had premiere to 2020 in Sundance. Um, and back then he actually called me and said like, okay, you know, you're going to work on my next film, this Evelyn film, and we're going to premiere on Sundance. That was his selling argument for the film, which is pretty fun, how it turned out. Yes.
Not a bad place to premiere it at the Sundance Film Festival. So very exciting
Not at all.
that this has been a recurring partnership for you, and especially here at Sundance. So what are you hoping that the viewers and the audience will take away from this immersive piece that you've displayed?
Well, I think it's I mean, I think it's as Matt's father says, Robert Sten, he says like it's a film about hope, you know, and that is what we need in these times. I would say something with hope, you know, to see that we can actually life kind of gets these strange, or you know, you just take different directions, and suddenly you have like you can live your life, you can live a full life in this avatar world. And I think it's the hope thing, actually. That's the main, that's what I hope the people that sees it, because it is I mean, I've seen it so many times, I still get really touched by it and moved, and it's hard to kind of how do you say not being touched by it. So I would say that is the hope, definitely.
Wonderful. Now, where can we watch Evelyn? And if we're not at Sundance, or if we are, where is it screening?
Well, it's on Sundance. I mean, it's still in, in, it's just premiered. So honestly, I don't know yet. So I can't really tell you where to watch it. But we probably know it in the end of the week.
Great.
Or this is the end of the week. We probably know it quite soon enough, I guess.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Hopefully, but I mean, the main goal for the film is to get it out to as many people as possible. You know, the World of Warcraft community, for example, it's huge. I mean, it's like 280 million people that have played World of Warcraft throughout the time. So it's a huge community for that. I mean, for the gaming community, for example. But it is a film for the whole family. So, I mean, with that said, we'll see where it comes, and hopefully as many people as possible will be able to see it.
Well, congratulations on the premiere of it and your recurring partnership here at Sundance. We appreciate you, and very exciting stuff to see from you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Uno Helmerson joining us today to talk about his latest film project. So very exciting. We'll be right back with more after this. It is so wonderful to see all of these incredible films, as well as the audio and the soundtracks for all of the films that are happening here at Sundance. Joining me today is the composer of the film Winner. I've got Heather McIntosh. Heather, how are you this morning?
I'm great. It's great to be here.
Well, welcome to Sundance and to Park City. We're very excited to have you here. So can you tell us a bit about you and your career as a composer?
Sure thing. I started out playing with bands and and also studying composition in college. So I was doing concert music composition and then playing cello and bass in bands, and that career went along great. Lots of touring, lots of learning my craft and also working at a video store. So I come from the 90s tradition of my film school was the video store, and I just was like a sponge for everything. I didn't know at first I'd be hopping into film music, but there was a real change maybe about 2008 or so. I started really trying to figure out how to crack the code on scoring, and realized there was a place for the kind of music I make. And so my first film at Sundance was 2012 with Craig Zobel, a film called Compliance, and this is my sixth Sundance, which is exciting to be back with another film.
Very exciting. That six Sundances with films and your work in the festival. It's great. So talk to me about Winner. Tell me all about the storyline, and then I'd love to hear a little bit further about what drew you to the project.
It's a story about Reality Winner who worked for the NSA, and she was responsible for leaking documents regarding Russian involvement in the elections. So the story, of course, is compelling. Reality Winner, the person, which is her name, is a fascinating. She's fascinating. She's funny, and so thinking about like really painting a through full picture of her, and not just like the storyline that you see, you know, the headline that you'd see on the news or something. This is also the second time I've scored a film for Susanna Fogel. Last year I came here with a film called Cat Person, and I was just thrilled to work with Susanna again. She's a delight, and I feel like we really developed a language between director and composer that, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. Anytime she tells me to jump, I'll jump.
I love that. Now, let's talk about that relationship. Did you meet Susanna and decide that you wanted to work on future projects, or were you initially drawn to the original project and then you've continued that partnership?
I would say I first met her on Cat Person, the film that went last year, and I'd loved her work. She's incredible. She made a film called The Spy Who Dumped Me that's so great, and she's just a delight. And I just love how her humor is so powerful, and she's just a great storyteller, and she really is a great filmmaker all around. Like, and we really just connect as people. So when it came to this project, I was just excited to start crafting the sounds for it. Cat Person was a thrill last year as well. So we developed our way of working, and I was just thrilled to get back in there again. Yeah.
I love that. So building a musical score is almost like making a cake. You're baking layers into it. Can you talk to me about your process and how you came up with the score for Winner?
I mean, I think a lot of it was just to make sure you captured her energy. Like, she has this real drive, obsessive, in fact, of like learning, and a real sense of justice. This is Reality Winner, the focus of the film, and how to find that. I think, you know, we started with instrumentation. We played with a lot of percussion. We played with a lot of marching snare, to sort of riff off the military aspects of her earlier military career. But to also play with space and to build the film in a way where we're not just saying like, this is how you're supposed to feel. So you know, I think the biggest thing for this one was finding the instrumentation first, you know, really finding what we were using. You know, like, there's a lot of strings, there's a lot more brass. It had almost an orchestral, like, it built up to this orchestral place. And that, I think, like, thinking about like how impactful her choice to release these materials in the world, and her like looking at the bigger picture of that. I think it was interesting to watch the build of the score, where at the beginning the instrumentation is very light, so you just are with her in her moment. A lot of times as the composer, you get to sort of be the point of view of the main character, and it was really fun to find that. You know, sometimes that can get lost, where you just feel like you're watching somebody else. And I think we got to sort of play with the gears of her mind, her obsessive desire to learn, and her sense of justice.
That's such an interesting way and perspective to share, is that, you were using the submersive audio to really develop and get the viewer into the mind of the character. So very awesome. So talk to us about where we can see the film Winner during Sundance, or, what do you hope audiences get from this film?
I would love well, first of all, you can see the film at Sundance. I'd recommend going to the Sundance app or online to find the times. I'd also say with this film, I hope it just paints a more broad picture that, like, it's not all black and white, and the decisions we make in the world are more nuanced than just like, this is how you're supposed to feel. Like, I hope that there's just, we're painting a bigger picture there. I love that we have that opportunity in film where, like I said, stepping away from just the soundbite or the headline or the little anecdote you hear on the night, your daily news or wherever you get your information, but to really, like, get inside the story and think about people's motivation and to think about people as human beings instead of just as a blurb.
It's so true. And the musical score is so important because it really just pulls the emotions out of you as you're watching the project. Well, Heather, congratulations. Very exciting stuff. Winner, the film. I cannot wait to see it. So we appreciate all that you're doing, and enjoy this weekend at Sundance.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Now stay tuned. We have a bit more here on the show. We'll be right back after this. We're in the month of January, and you know what that means? You have the entire year to work on those fitness goals. I have a conversation with two of the executives at Lifetime Fitness. Let's take a look. Now, health and wellness is very important, and it's a constant conversation, especially at the start of the new year. And here to talk about how to do a science-backed alternative to weight loss and to make it sustainable and increase your lifespan, I've got two experts in the field, Jeff Zwiefel and Jim Laval. How are you, gentlemen?
Great. Good morning.
Good morning. So, Jim, you are the founder of Metabolic Code. Tell me a bit about it and what exactly we can expect, and how does this help with weight loss and longevity in your lifespan?
Yeah, so the Metabolic Code, the program which identifies your metabolic roadblocks. Where are you having the biggest struggles with your metabolism? And it does it through symptom surveys, lab, as well as biometrics. And then what happens is it calculates a score called a metaflammation index. Metabolic inflammation leads to inflammaging. And what the program does, it allows us to target one of the one of their strategies, maybe a prescriptive agent, something like Ozempic that's out there now. But the key is that you have to be able to surround the lifestyle changes with it. You really get dose the same with it. So exercise, improving diet, understanding the impact of stress, and then looking at those key markers of metabolism that are correlated to advanced aging, and let's reverse those. That's what the Metabolic Code is all about.
It's so important, and I'm really grateful that you mentioned the conversation around Ozempic and how to do things differently than a quick fix like that. Now, Jeff, talk to me a little bit about motivation for people behind their health and wellness and making major changes to really continue to expand their life quality.
Hey, look, Gretchen, as Jim said, it really all comes down to how do I look better? How do I feel better? How do I perform better? And, setting these New Year's resolutions can get tough. We understand that. We're here to support them at Lifetime. We want to make sure we help people achieve their healthy, happy life goals and objectives. And so taking it and keeping it super simple, keeping it pragmatic, being thoughtful about it, and making sure that if you have some difficulty, you stumble, you fall, you reset, you reboot, and you reestablish those active lifestyle patterns. As Jim said, everything's got to start with moving and improving our diet and our nutrition. And then we can start to see the goals and objectives that people are looking for, whether that's be losing weight, having more energy, or living longer, healthier.
Well, you're the executive director of Lifetime Fitness, and how is Lifetime Fitness really encouraging people to get involved? I love the Lifetime Fitness gyms, and I work out at one whenever I'm near it.
Yeah, we've got one in the Salt Lake market. We've got, 4 or 5 of them in the Denver market. It's a busy time of year. We've got 1.5 million members with 170 clubs. We love serving our members and making sure they have the best in class experience through the best people, best programs, and best places. And we're here at a Lifetime right now. It's busy, it's humming. And what we want to make sure we do is get people involved in something that they enjoy, that they can stick with over the long run, and that we also provide them variety. They need options because, of course, people by nature are going to get bored with the same activity. So we allow people at Lifetime opportunities to mix it up. Cardio one day, strength training the other day, a group class another day, get in the pool and swim another day, pickleball an alternative day. That variety, like we say, is the spice of life. And surround yourself with a community, like-minded people that can support you. If you can, we encourage people to engage with a dynamic personal trainer to get a structured, progressive program.
It's so great. I love the community you have there. Plus, you offer all of the different varieties of, smoothie bars and things like that. Now, Jim, talk to me a bit more about how people can reverse time and really increase their health longevity.
Well, some of the big things that you can do is that first you have to get a blood test. You need to look at what values may be out of range. And here's the key thing. Sometimes you may have a value in range, for example, blood sugar. You may have a 95 blood sugar, which is considered normal, but that is a 60% risk of being a person with diabetes in the next decade. And when you have diabetes, that's shortening your lifespan. So the way we like to go about this is look at labs because it's an important key indicator, but also you have got to evaluate what you're doing with your lifestyle. How much are you moving? How are you responding to stress? Do you notice you're eating? You're looking for that chocolate-covered pretzel with extra seeds and caramel on it, right? You got to really be honest with yourself and go, what are the things I can change now? And then more importantly, go and get that lab assessment. Work with somebody who's experienced on the longevity side. How are we going to optimize your health? Big question that's different from do you have a disease yet when you get a lab? It's how do we optimize your health looking at your labs.
It's so important. Now, Jim, tell me, where can we go for more information or to really dive into making permanent major changes in our health and longevity?
Well, you can go to lifetime.life. There's plenty of information there. Obviously, they have an app. You could be a virtual member as well. There's all kinds of information that's available through the Lifetime experience. And I would invite everyone to come out and explore all the value that Lifetime has as a healthy way of life.
Great. Well, thank you, gentlemen, both. I think this is a very important conversation to have, how to make major changes and sustainable changes as well. And we appreciate all that you're doing to educate the masses. So enjoy the rest of this month, and I look forward to seeing all that you do to impact people's lives this year.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Now stay tuned. We have a bit more on the show. We'll be right back after this. Now, happy Sundance Sunday. I hope you're getting out there on the slopes and enjoying some of these incredible films that are premiering here at the festival this year. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot, and I'll see you next time.